Yep.
Today is May the 25th. It's been 1 week since I took the queens out of 5 of these colonies. The past week has been warm with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. The bees should have made queen cells in the intervening period because of the emergency response. I'll show you what this dividing process looks like as it's being done. Last week I knocked some cells to give the bees more options to make cells from. I learned of this method from Mel Disselken of mdasplitter.com. I find that they will make cells in some of these notched areas, but they also make queen cells elsewhere. And I use whichever cell looks best to me, well developed and in a place where it is stable and not likely to be bumped off. On occasion they'll be at the bottom of the frame, and in which case, if that is the case and I like the look of them, I will put a shim of a couple of inches below there so they don't get scratched off on the bottom board. See, there's grey shim below this blue box. I found decent looking queen cells in each box. I've left a couple of queen cells in the centre frame, honey, nectar, pollen frames in the outermost frames, and brood in positions 2 and 4. As I went through the colonies, I placed the honey frames first, as I found them, and then worker brood without queen cells went in positions 2 and 4, and I put the queen cell frames to one side as I came across them, and put them in the colonies last. The queen frames need to be taken very carefully and not jostled as the queens are still developing. The bees do not like this exercise, and so I wore my full suit and my gloves. I arranged my boxes ahead of time, as you can see over there. I'm still in the process. These queens should emerge around Monday the 30th. There should be mating flights the following weekend. I should see eggs and larvae around June the 17th. And that larva should be starting to be capped around the 22nd. It's only when the larva is capped as worker brood that you are sure that the process has worked properly. This long broodless period of around a month sets the varroa mite back so much as to allow me to make increased colonies without the need to treat for mites here in the north. In the south it may be different because they don't have the benefit of a cold winter and the second period of broodlessness. Identifying and publicising the benefit of the brood break will be Mel Disselken's legacy to beekeepers. Thank you, Mel. Watching these nucs develop is an interesting process. However, there is no need to go into every nuc every week. It is more efficient to check fewer times when one has more than a few colonies to check. Note that the colonies are faced around the original site. This is intended to try to disperse the foragers fairly evenly. They will defend their new quarters, but each colony is in just 5 frames, and so the entrances are reduced to allow for better defence. Whilst I have set the boxes up as uniformly as possible when distributing bees in stores, I have tried to make them look visually different as much as possible in the hope that the new queens will find the right nuc on the way home from mating flights. After this work is done, there will be nothing to do here for a few weeks except keep the grass down and check that the bear fence is working. I'm just going to open up one colony over here to show you what our colony looks like. I think I'm going to get my gloves on because they're a little grumpy. They're a little grumpy because they've been disturbed majorly, and on top of that, it's a stormy day, so we don't have many foragers flying out. Hive tool.
Are you going to open that one?
I will do this one. Just because it's here. All right. So what we have is decent patch of worker brood in the outside frames. Not the outside frames, forgive me, positions 2 and 4. Solid frame of honey in position 1. And this is the frame that's got queen cells on it. Or a queen cell, at least one. There you go. In that corner. So that's not going to get bumped off. I'm going to put that back in carefully and make sure we don't jostle it. See, there's also a worker brood here they're keeping warm. And I think that's about as much as we need to see. This frame is similar to the second frame, and the outer frame is the honey frame. So we'll just put that in carefully. I always put the queen cell on the middle frame because that way they are much more likely to be taken care of. Without a queen cell, the colony is hopelessly queenless. They have a real interest in survival. Alright, and from each double deep colony we get 4 colonies of bees. Alright, that's all I got. Okay.